Hey everybody, welcome back to Banjo Quest. Today I have for you one of the most difficult exercises that I could possibly throw at you when it comes to your striking hand for clawhammer banjo. This is going to help you get that bulletproof sense of groove and time that we are struggling for with this burst training series. So buckle up, grab a banjo, and welcome to Banjo Quest. All right, so tablature for this exercise is available over on Patreon. Go check it out. Also, I want to mention 3 patrons by name. They submitted videos of them performing this exercise correctly. It is a bear. It is a very difficult one. So hats off to Ryan Harlin, Richard Bruner, and Robin Ganesan. Now, one video stands out amongst all of those videos that were submitted, and that is Ryan Harlin's video. I am going to link that out in the description below, so go check it out. Go say hello to Ryan. He's a fantastic player, and he really nailed this exercise, and seeing somebody else do it other than me will help you get a handle on it. All right, here's how we're going to subdivide this, pun intended. I'm going to verbally tell you what we're doing. Then I'm going to demonstrate what we're doing on the instrument at a variety of different tempos, and then I will tell you how to play it, how to get your head around this very tricky exercise. All right, so this is a very simple way to think about this. We are doing quarter notes, then we're doing quarter note triplets, then we're going to do eighth notes, eighth note triplets, and finally 16th notes. We are keeping the tempo the same throughout. So your right hand, you've got to subdivide that tempo differently with every pass. Let me show you how to do this. And again, this is much easier if you have the tab. Hop on over to Patreon, join us. There is so much content and it's such a lovely community. I highly recommend it. Let's dive in. First thing we're going to do, we're going to get our metronome out and we're going to put it on, let's see. Let's get it on 92. It's a nice number. I am in the key of G, tuned to G major. Here we go. I'm going to play it through. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, let's raise it. Let's raise it to, let's get going, 104. 1, 2, 3, 4. And let's get cooking. Let's go, I'm gonna make a big jump. We're gonna go 120. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, first the why. Why the heck would we do this? We're never going to do this in old time music, so why bother? Well, first of all, I like to think of clawhammer as something that is larger than the old time genre. So if you do want to play in a modern band or you want to play contemporary music, you may need access to these rhythms, especially these triplets. So training your hand how to play a triplet is really useful. The second reason why I think this is an excellent exercise is because if you can play this through at a variety of different tempos, it means that your tempo, your groove, and your sense of time is unassailable. You cannot get knocked off that horse if you can play this really, really well. Getting used to subdividing in these various ways while keeping tempo with your external timekeeper is an excellent indication that you are on the right track in terms of your inner clock. It is way harder to play this exercise than, for example, move between an A and a B part of a typical old-time tune. This is harder. These transitions are more difficult. If you can do the hard transitions then all of the other transitions that you have to worry about when you're playing are going to seem so much easier. And above all, you'll be able to sit back, put your feet up, and just relax and keep time. The other reason why I love this exercise is because it makes you aware of the timekeeping process. So when you pick up your banjo to play, you're probably thinking, I'm thinking of that tune. What tune am I going to play? How does the melody go? What's the chord progression, etc., etc.? What are the lyrics? That's one of my things. Can I remember the lyrics this time through? This forces you to think about something else. It privileges the timekeeping process above all else. And that, I think, is a good lesson in and of itself for any banjo player. When you pick up that banjo, regardless of the context, your number one job is to keep good time. This exercise puts it right in your face, shows you how active that timekeeping process can be, and it should help you call to mind the importance of good groove and good timing. All right, so let's talk about how to do this right. So this is a big project. It sounds small, but this is really hard. I can't tell you how many takes that I've done to get this video correct, and I know that my students are struggling with it as well. Here's how I would solve this problem. The first thing I do is to make the problem smaller. So I've got a big problem, right? I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 measures. Let's think of this one measure at a time. So the first measure is easy. We're tagging every number on the metronome. Let me get us back to 92. Now let's bump it back to 104. So the first measure, let's count. So this is what I'm doing with the banjo. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I've got the first measure down. Let's look at the next measure. That measure's tricky. It's a quarter note triplet. So it's triplet, 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 triplet. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Here's how I would play that. Triplet, 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 triplet. Now, what makes this really difficult is we are not used to giving the fifth string an accented note. That will help you get this right. So it's triplet, 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 triplet. This is indicated by the carets in the tab for those following with me. 8 notes. Next measure. Easy. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and all day long. Next measure is 8 note triplets. Triplet, 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 triplet. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, and the last measure is sixteenths. This is how you count that. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. So that's each measure in a nutshell. Go back and review the ones that you are having a hard time with and come back to this next part later. Okay, now that you've counted each measure in turn and tried it with the banjo, let's just put the entire thing together vocally. Take the banjo out of the equation. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. Go back and try that, getting it vocally, as Ryan rightly pointed out in his video linked below. That is a great way to sort of get your head around what's going on. And then finally, you play the banjo through it in its entirety. Now, a couple of things to watch out for. The hardest part of this whole thing are the triplets. You've got to spend time with those measures first. Get that sound in your head. Remember, triplets are using threes to interpret twos. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I'm doing 2 beats, 1, 2, but there are 3 beats in that space. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Getting used to those triplets, those rolling threes, is a great way to sort of start to get your head around it. Let me also point out that those advanced players who can play each of these measures cleanly will probably struggle getting the transitions between the measures right. So you haven't succeeded in this exercise if your transitions aren't pinpoint accurate. Mine were not quite there. I'm still woodshedding on my transitions a little bit. Make sure that when you transition between the quarter notes and the quarter note triplets, that transition is crisp and really strong. Listen for it, record yourself, videotape yourself if you can. That will help give you that bird's eye perspective that you need to get this right. The last piece of this is the transition into the 16th note pattern. That is faster usually at most tempos than you think it's going to be. So listen and key in on those downbeats. Now, one of the tricks to all of this is to get your accents right in the triplet section. So let's see where your triplets are lining up with the click and make sure you use little anchor points as references throughout your triplet sections. I also find that really useful when I'm doing the 16th notes. I figure out where I'm supposed to link up with my downstrokes on the click, and that makes it a lot easier. All right, there will be more tips and tricks and some things that you can do with this exercise for patrons only over on Patreon. Do check it out. Tablature is available. Thank you so much for joining me. I've got a lot of surprises coming this week, so stay tuned, and I will see you next time on Banjo Quest.